It seems almost impossible to pick the best places to visit in France. In a country with some of the most famous landmarks in the world, how do you narrow down the list? Don't worry, we know it's hard. So we've done the research for you so you can just pick your favorites and plan your trip. From some of the world's best museums to stunning beaches to vineyards and buzzing cities, France really does have something for everybody. Paris is the capital and largest city of France. With an official estimated population of 2,102,650 residents in January 2023 in an area of more than 105 kilometers 41 sq mi, Paris is the fourth largest city in the European Union and the 30th most densely populated city in the world in 2022. For its leading role in the arts and sciences, as well as its early and extensive system of street lighting, in the 19th century, it became known as the City of Light. The city of Paris is the center of the Île-de-France region, or Paris region, with an official estimated population of 12,271,794 inhabitants in January 2023, or about 19% of the population of France. The Paris region had a GDP of 765 billion euros, 1.064 trillion US dollars, PPE in 2021, the highest in the European Union. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit Worldwide Cost of Living Survey, in 2022, Paris was the city with the 9th highest cost of living in the world. Paris is a major railway, highway, and air transport hub served by two international airports, Charles de Gaulle Airport, the third busiest airport in Europe, and Orly Airport. Opened in 1900, the city's subway system, the Paris Metro, serves 5.23 million passengers daily. It is the second busiest metro system in Europe after the Moscow Metro. Gare du Nord is the 24th busiest railway station in the world and the busiest outside Japan, with 262 million passengers in 2015. Paris has one of the most sustainable transportation systems and is one of only two cities in the world that received the Sustainable Transport Award twice. Paris is known for its museums and architectural landmarks. The Louvre received 8.9 million visitors in 2023, on track for keeping its position as the most visited art museum in the world. The Musée d'Orsay, Musée Marmottan Monet and Musée de l'Orangerie are noted for their collections of French Impressionist art. The Pompidou Center, Musée National d'Art Moderne, Musée Rodin and Musée Picasso are noted for their collections of modern and contemporary art. The historical district along the Seine in the city center has been classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1991. Paris is home to several United Nations organizations including UNESCO, as well as other international organizations such as the OECD, the OECD Development Center, the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, the International Energy Agency, the International Federation for Human Rights. Along with European bodies such as the European Space Agency, the European Banking Authority and the European Securities and Markets Authority. The football club Paris Saint-Germain and the rugby union club Stade Francais are based in Paris. The 81,000-seat Stade de France, built for the 1998 FIFA World Cup, is located just north of Paris in the neighboring commune of Saint-Denis. Paris hosts the annual French Open Grand Slam tennis tournament on the red clay of Roland Garros. Paris hosted the 1900, the 1924, and the 2024 Summer Olympics. The 1938 and 1998 FIFA World Cups, the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup, the 2007 Rugby World Cup, as well as the 1960, 1984 and 2016 UEFA European Championships were held in Paris. Every July, the Tour de France bicycle race finishes on the Avenue des Champs-Élysées in Paris. Palais of Versailles, former French royal residence and center of government, now a national landmark. It is located in the city of Versailles, Yvelines department, Île-de-France region, northern France, 10 miles 16 kilometers west-southwest of Paris. As the center of the French court, Versailles was one of the grandest theaters of European absolutism. The original residence was primarily a hunting lodge and private retreat for Louis XIII reigned 1610-43 and his family. In 1624 the king entrusted Jacques Lemercier with the construction of a chateau on the site. Its walls are preserved today as the exterior facade overlooking the marble court. Palais of Versailles, Versailles, France, designated a World Heritage Site in 1979. Under the guidance of Louis XIV reigned 1643-1715, the residence was transformed 1661-1710 into an immense and extravagant complex surrounded by stylized French and English gardens. Every detail of its construction was intended to glorify the king. The additions were designed by such renowned architects as Jules Hardouin-Mansart, Robert de Con, and Louis Le Bon. Charles Lebrun oversaw the interior decoration. Landscape artist André Lenotre created symmetrical French gardens that included ornate fountains with magically still water, expressing the power of humanity and, specifically, the king over nature. To the east of the palace is the Place d'Armes, a wide plaza that in the 21st century served mainly as a parking lot to accommodate the thousands of tourists who visited Versailles each day. In the center of the Place d'Armes, facing the Avenue de Paris, is a bronze equestrian statue of Louis XIV. Originally located at the apex of the Court of Honor, the statue was relocated to the Place d'Armes in 2009 after an extensive restoration. To the west is the Gate of Honor, a gilded iron gate and stone balustrade that marks the main entrance to the palace complex. Beyond that lies the broad expanse of the Court of Honor, bounded on the north and south by the Ministers' Wings, outbuildings constructed in the 1680s to house the king's secretaries of state. The Royal Gate, an elaborate gold leaf gate, separates the Court of Honor from the Royal Court at the location where the Louis XIV statue once stood. Unveiled in 2008, the Royal Gate partially recreates a gate that was designed by Hardouin-Mansart in the 1680s and was destroyed during the French Revolution. Some art historians criticized the Royal Gate as a modern interpretation of the original rather than a true restoration, but it served an undeniably valuable role in directing visitor traffic. Provence, historical and cultural region encompassing the southeastern French departments of Bouches-du-Rhône, Vaucluse, Alpes-de-Haute-Provence, and Var. It is roughly coextensive with the former province of Provence and with the present-day region of Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. With the establishment of Greek colonies, among them Massilia, modern Marseille, in the area by the beginning of the 6th century, Provence was first oriented toward the civilization of the Mediterranean. In 125 the Massiliads appealed to the Romans for help against a coalition of neighboring Celts and Ligurians. The Romans defeated the coalition but remained in occupation of the region. Thus, by the end of the 2nd century, Provence formed part of Gallia Transalpina, the first Roman provincia beyond the Alps, from which the area took its name. By the 4th century, Arles, an important meeting place for merchants, was the seat of the prefecture of all Gaul, and Marseille was the main center of Greek studies in the west. With the breakdown of the Roman Empire in the late 5th century, Provence was successively invaded by the Visigoths, Burgundians, and Ostrogoths. The region came under the rule of the Franks in about 536 and was subsequently ruled by their Merovingian dynasty, though it was not integrated with the rest of France. The great Carolingian rulers made Frankish rule effective in Provence, but after the collapse of Carolingian rule, Provence formed part of a series of kingdoms set up between France and Germany, the first kingdom of Provence from 855 to 863, the second kingdom of Provence from 879 to about 934, and Burgundy Provence, the kingdom of Arles, which was nominally attached to the Holy Roman Empire in 1032. By the end of the 10th century, a local dynasty which had led the region's defense against invasions by the Muslims dominated the area and had acquired the title of Count of Provence. With the end of this dynasty in 1113, the House of Barcelona gained the title, and Provence was ruled by the Spanish from Catalonia for more than a century. In the 12th century, Provençal cities flourished from trade with the Levant and set up autonomous governments called consulates. At the same time, the civilization of the province, in which a language close to Latin was spoken and of which troubadour poetry and examples of early Romanesque architecture were among the outstanding cultural achievements, was at its height. The Albigensian Crusade of the early 13th century, in which the Roman Catholic Church suppressed the Cathari sect of southern France, introduced into Provence the influence of the papacy and northern France, although Provence, not being a stronghold of the Cathari, escaped devastation. The popes acquired Comtat Venaissin in northern Provence, along the Rhône River in the early 13th century and took up residence in Avignon from 1309 to 1377. Northern French influence in Provence dates from 1246, when Provence passed to the Angevin ruler Charles of Anjou, brother of King Louis IX. The province was at first subordinated to the Italian interests of these Angevin counts of Provence, who were also kings of Naples, but their reign witnessed the development of many of the region's characteristic political institutions, notably its Estates Assembly, which had the power to approve taxes and to help govern the province in times of disorder in the late 14th century. In 1481, Provence was willed to the King of France, and its union to the crown was effected on the condition that Provence keep its administrative autonomy. From the 16th to the 18th century, however, control by the king grew. In 1673, the Generalite of Aix was established as the seat of an intendant royal governor, while the Estates of Provence were not convened between 1639 and 1787, until just prior to the French Revolution. With the Revolution, the province completely lost its own political institutions and in 1790 was divided into the departments of Bouches-du-Rhône, Var, and Basses-Alpes, now Alpes-de-Haute-Provence. The department of Vaucluse was added after the annexation of Comtat Venaissin in 1791 and that of Alpes-Maritimes with the annexation of the Countship of Nice in 1860. The region comprises the Mediterranean coastline of southeastern France and its immediate predominantly hilly or mountainous hinterland. Provence is mostly Roman Catholic, though there are sizable Protestant enclaves around Marseille and in Vaucluse around Larmerin and Merindo. Repatriated emigres from North Africa have greatly increased the number of Jews in Provence. Occitan continues to be spoken in the Comtat Venaissin. Is a tidal island and mainland commune in Normandy, France. The island lies approximately 1 kilometer 1/2 nautical mile off France's northwestern coast, at the mouth of the Couesnon River near Avranches, and is 7 hectares 17 acres in area. The mainland part of the commune is 393 hectares 971 acres in area, so that the total surface of the commune is 400 hectares 990 acres. As of 2019, the island had a population of 29. The commune's position, on an island just a few hundred meters yards from land, made it accessible at low tide to the many pilgrims to its abbey, and defensible as the incoming tide stranded, drove off, or drowned would-be assailants. The island remained unconquered during the 100 Years' War. A small garrison fended off a full attack by the English in 1433. Louis XI recognized the benefits of its natural defense and turned it into a prison. The abbey was used regularly as a prison during the ancient regime. Mont Saint-Michel and its surrounding bay were inscribed on the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites in 1979 for its unique aesthetic and importance as a Catholic site. It is visited by more than 3 million people each year. Over 60 buildings within the commune are protected in France as historical monuments. In 2023, President Macron marked 1,000 years of the abbey, and the success of the hydraulic dam project and the elevated pedestrian bridge in restoring water flow in the bay, making the Mount an island again. Now a rocky tidal island, the Mount occupied dry land in prehistoric times. As sea levels rose, erosion reshaped the coastal landscape, and several outcrops of granite emerged in the bay, having resisted the wear and tear of the ocean better than the surrounding rocks. These included Lillehammer, Mont Dol, Tombelaine, the island just to the north, and Mont Toom, later called Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel consists of leucogranite which solidified from an underground intrusion of molten magma about 525 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, as one of the younger parts of the Manselian granitic batholith. Early studies of Mont Saint-Michel by French geologists sometimes describe the leucogranite of the Mont as granulite, but this granitic meaning of granulite is now obsolete. The mount has a circumference of about 960 meters, 3,150 feet, and its highest point is 92 meters, 302 feet above sea level. The Loire Valley has the densest concentration of castles in France, over 300 of them, including ruins, small fortresses, and beautifully preserved chateaux. Some of the best Loire Valley castles to visit include the Château de Chambord and the Château de Chenonceau. The Château de Chambord is considered the king of all the castles here. Built in the early 16th century, its stunning French Renaissance structure is elaborated, home to a very unique double spiral staircase, and open for tours. The privately owned Château de Chenonceau is the second most visited chateau in the country, after the Palace of Versailles. Other must-see castles in the valley include the 16th century Château de Chenonceau built on a bridge crossing the river Cher, the very Disney-like Château de Chaumont-sur-Loire, and the stunning Château of Amboise, which started life as a fortress. The Calanques of Marseille are a series of limestone cliffs sitting right on the sea. They form a beautiful backdrop to small hidden beaches and the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea. They are the main attraction at the Calanques National Park, a protected area that covers 520 square kilometers of both land and sea. Although many come here to sunbathe and enjoy the beach or try kayaking, exploring the Calanques on foot is the best way to discover its magic. There are easier and more challenging hikes here, with some of the best trails located in Marcellevere Massif, where amazing views will reward you after steep and heart-stopping walks. Champagne day trips from Paris are ideal to discover the fantastic history of this region. The world's most famous sparkling wine comes from the region of the same name, located not far from Paris and perfect as a day trip to remember. A UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its cellars and hillsides, Champagne has more than drinks to offer, though you should definitely try the Champagne route while there, which stretches over 70 kilometers across charming towns and past historical monasteries and chateaux. The region is also home to Roman ruins, Europe's biggest fortified castle, and the High Gothic Reims Cathedral, the coronation site of 25 French kings. No other place in France says glamour like Saint-Tropez. The most famous and expensive place to visit on the French Riviera, Saint-Tropez is the perfect destination to enjoy exclusive beach clubs, see massive yachts, and cross paths with the rich and famous. Move away from the beach and you will also get to experience the old-world ambience that makes this place unique, complete with the historic Vaux port and harbour, typical Provencal market squares, olive groves, and cobblestone streets. Lively and busy during the summer months, Saint-Tropez is a great culinary destination as well as a great place to enjoy the nightlife. Orleans was where young Joan d'Arc helped lead the army that defeated the English and broke their siege on the city. It was also the place where she was captured and put on trial. Today, her memory is alive in many places around the city, including a museum in her honor and the Joan of Arc Center created in the home where she once lived. Every spring, a festival in her honor takes over the streets with special reenactments and attractions. While here, visit Les Halles Châtelet for all your shopping needs and stop by the Place du Martroi Square to see Joan d'Arc's bronze statue. The 17th century Cathedral of St. Croix and the Château de Chambord just outside the city are also beautiful places worth a visit. Located in northern France, historic Arras is a destination filled with chatties, the spectacular Grand Place and des heroes to ancient marketplace surrounded by shops and restaurants and Flemish Baroque architecture. Arras was a major battle site during WWI. This led to heavy damage in the city and left behind a number of landmarks that continue to tell that story. The Carrier Wellington Museum, created in the underground quarry tunnels used by soldiers to move and hide during war, is located 22 meters underground and it's a must-see.